Hi everybody, it's Jennifer, and today I want to show you how I created these little Valentine's Day treat boxes, using cardstock, and there's a small size and a larger size. So we're going to start with this small one here. So you're going to start, for the small one, you're going to start with an 8.5 inch by 4.5 inch piece of cardstock, and I'm going to do this one using craft. You're going to score it. You're going to place it on your scoring board this way, and you're going to score it at 1 inch, 2 inches, and 4 inches. So scoring at 1, 2, 4. You're going to flip it this way, and you're going to score it at 2 inches, 4 inches, 6 inches, and 8 inches. And then you're going to be left with a small little tab here and here. You're going to make sure that the small tab is at the bottom. So you're going to flip it so that you have a small tab here and a small tab here. And you're going to score at 3 inches only through the first 3 2x2 squares that you see. So you're going to score 3 inches through the first one, through the second one, and through the third one. So you have a little 2x2 square here that your other score marks made. You're going to score 3 inches through the first, second, and third. And you can modify this length if you want to use like an edge punch. So if you want to make a box that has this kind of effect, you can modify that 3 inches so that you have more, so when you punch it, these aren't too long or too short. So after you're done scoring, you're going to cut off. You're going to cut off on this first layer of all these thin rectangles here. You're going to cut off the first square here. And you're going to leave this intact, and then you're going to cut the rest of the strip there. So you're going to cut all these off. And then on this one here, you're going to cut all these 3 off here. You're going to keep this big one, you're going to cut all these off here. And then on this next row, you're just going to cut the middle one out. So you have 1, 2, 3 small rectangles. You're just going to cut this middle one out here. And then you might need to cut it down just a little bit so they fold properly. And then you're left with this 2x2 square here and this small, I think it's a 2x1 rectangle. You're just going to cut it because this releases the top flap. So when you cut this, it releases this to close. Then you're going to go to where you have all the rest of these little small tabs left here. And you're going to cut this one off and this one off. All you need is a small little tab in the middle. And then to make your box fold at the bottom, so the flaps can fold in, you're going to just cut on these score lines here, on these 3 score lines at the bottom. So we're going to cut that one, just to the first score line, and that one. So you have something that looks like this. Okay, then you can go ahead and fold all your score lines. If you wanted to stamp, so this becomes your lid. The 2x2 square becomes your lid. So if you wanted to stamp on it or layer paper over these squares, you could do that now. So go ahead and fold all your score lines. And then you're going to add adhesive to 2 alternating panels. So you can add adhesive to these 2, or you can add adhesive to these 2. Either way, it doesn't matter. And I suggest using something like score tape, because it works pretty well. I'm using something similar. It's like score tape, just a more industrial strength kind of score tape. But it's really, really similar. 2 alternating panels, and then your tab, you want to flip it and then add adhesive to that. And in order for your lid to kind of close nicer, you can either round the corners here or just taper them, just like that. And you just start folding your box. And these 2 with the adhesive will be holding these 2 flats. Sorry, these 2 flats here in place. So the 2 with the adhesive will fold over and hold those 2 in place. And just fold your box. Put your flap in and your box is done. And you might need to just trim some of the edges off, like here, if you don't like the way it looks. But essentially, that's your box. And you can use a border punch now. It's better to use it before you put the box together, but or if you just like them with it, you can just round the corners and it looks nice as well. So for the larger box, you're going to start with an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of cardstock. So you can make one small and one large box off of one 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. You're going to score it at 1 inch, 3 inch, and 5 inch. So 1 inch, 3 inch, 5 inch. Then you're going to flip it and score 2 inch, 4 inches, 6 inches, and 8 inches. So 2, 4, 6, and 8. And again, I'm going to flip it so that my small tab is here and here on the outer edges. And I'm going to score at 4 inches. This one's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to score at 4 inches through the first 3 squares only. And I'm stopping before I get to this last 2x2 square. And the same thing, we're going to cut this square off, we're going to keep this one, and then we're going to cut all 3 of these off. Then we're going to cut all of these off. And then we're going to cut just the middle rectangle out. Then we're going to just snip between these score lines to release our lid here. Then we're going to cut We're going to cut this one off, and we're going to cut this one off, and we're only keeping this one here as our tab. And then to release our flaps at the bottom, we're just going to snip it there, there, and right there. Fold all your score lines in. Taper these edges here. Apply adhesive to 2 of the alternating panels. And apply adhesive to your flat. Remember to close your flat first and then put the adhesive on. And assemble your box. You can decorate these however you want to. You can layer cardstock or pattern paper on it. You can stamp on it or emboss it before you make the box. And it doesn't have to be just for Valentine's Day, and you don't need any special dye. They're pretty quick once you get started making them too. And I am using the Michaels cardstock because it's thicker and heavier than the one at Joann's, so it holds up nicer. But you can use whatever you want, textured cardstock or whatever. And there's your box. And again, you can modify where we scored it at 4 inches through the first 3 squares only. You can modify that length to suit whatever border punch you want to use, if you want to use it, or you can just round the corners and it looks nice as well. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you enjoyed decorating some of these boxes and giving them away as Valentine's Day gifts. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you have any questions, just comment below. Bye-bye.